The reason why you've been learning Spanish for years and you still can't speak it, I just want to let you know it's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. We're just taught the wrong way, right? What do I mean by the wrong way? The wrong way is a myriad of things. You know, I'll go use my personal example, right? In school, in high school, I had this terrible teacher, man. Dude was a Spanish teacher. Awful, god awful. All we did was memorize grammar, conjugations, some vocabulary words that he thought we should know, stuff like that. But it never really stuck. And he was a terrible teacher too. But like that, even if he was a great teacher though, that's that way we're taught Spanish, like we're all taught in high school and college. We're not going to learn Spanish that way. It's just impossible. It's not going to happen. It's absolutely not going to happen. And I'm gonna break down like the main ways these don't work. I'm gonna give you like an alternative at the end, right? So y'all stay tuned. So one of the main reasons, right, why memorization doesn't work. I'll start off with memorization, right? Memorization doesn't work because when you want to actually speak Spanish, you're going to be in a dynamic situation. You're going to be in situations where you can't just memorize certain words. You just have to know how to react and be effective, right? And be present in the moment. You can't just think about okay, when I was, it's not like a test, you know what I'm saying? It's not like a school test where you study for the night before, you cram. No, 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 no. You want it to be fluid. You want to be fluid and like, so any type of situation you walk into, you're prepared, right? And memorization just doesn't satisfy that, right? Another thing too, a lot of these apps, if you're familiar with my channel, I do talk about Duolingo a lot. I do not like it. I do not think it's effective. What I do think it does pretty good, I guess, it helps people with like maybe pronunciation, some pronunciation and some pattern recognition here and there. But like I said, I've never met anybody, especially myself included. I was a Duolingo fiend, and after using Duolingo for like a year, I still couldn't speak Spanish. When I came to Mexico, couldn't speak Spanish at all. You know what I mean? I came to Mexico, all I knew was uno, dos, tres, manzana, naranja. That's all I knew. There was no real, it never worked that muscle that you need to actually engage with people and communicate. A lot of these apps do that. Rosetta, I've never used Rosetta. I've seen a little bit of Rosetta Stone, but the reviews are just terrible. So yeah, I've never, I don't know, I don't think I've ever met anybody who learned Spanish through Rosetta Stone. I don't, and that's like one of the bigger language learning programs. I've never, so like Rosetta Stone, Duolingo, all these things they're just not geared to achieve what you want to do. And we all know what you want to do. I know what you want to do. You want to speak Spanish. You don't want to just do Duolingo challenges and get little XP points. No, you want to go out in the world and speak Spanish. So the apps don't satisfy that. I touched on this one too as well. Boring grammar rules. Grammar is such a, when I kind of talk to people about learning Spanish, they're really hung up on grammar, and I think I know why. Like coming from English, there's a lot of what they call them grammar Nazis. Like everybody tries to make you feel stupid, and everybody wants to make you feel silly for not being able to, not being able to be grammatically correct, right? Well, and then people bring that to Spanish, and I'm just like, man, don't even worry about that shit, man. Look, get it out. You know what I'm saying? Say what you need to say. Do not worry about, look, the pronouns, the nouns, the adjectives, the adverbs, all that stuff. Look, the masculine, the feminine, la, el. Listen, you are going to learn that it was with repetition. Do not focus on. Do not allow grammar to be the reason why you don't learn Spanish or why practice Spanish at least, right? Do not allow grammar to stop you. That is like I would put grammar at damn near like the bottom. Yeah, I would put grammar at the bottom of higher, of importance, right? Or priority. You need to know, foundational rules. And what I mean by foundation, I'm not necessarily talking about grammar. I'm talking about like the rhyme and reason of Spanish. Like why do people say these things in Spanish? Why do they communicate this way in Spanish? Why does this mean that? Right? That's the foundation. You need the next is sentence building. You need to be able to know how to communicate with people, engage with people, talk to people, stop, listen to people, all these things, right? And the last, immersion, right? That's the three. And if you're still watching, like, subscribe. You know what I'm saying? If you're still watching this point. But yeah, those are the three: foundation, sentence building, and immersion. Those are the three foundation core to my Spanish learning system. I always talk about that traditional Spanish learning. Um, what do you say? School, right? Like traditional Spanish learning. Like we don't really get all that, right? We don't. Either we get like a bunch of conjugation, a bunch of grammar, and all this stuff. We don't get that actual, that real meat, that real like that thing we actually need, which is actually speaking Spanish, right? Actually communicating in Spanish. Yeah, we can memorize some vocabulary words, but that's not, okay, you know how to say apple, like I said earlier, manzana. Okay, can you say I want to buy an apple? Can you say I need an apple? Can you say I'm hungry? Tengo hambre, quiero comer una manzana. Can you say that's what I'm saying? Like, you say I'm hungry, I want an apple. Like that's what you want to say. You want to communicate your desires, your thoughts, and your needs. You don't give a fuck about vocabulary. I don't. The vocabulary is gonna come with it. Trust me. Especially if you follow my Spanish learning system. So, like I said, man, that's it for me. If you really enjoyed this video and you're interested in my Spanish learning system, go into the link in the description box below. I got a masterclass video, and also you can book a one-on-one consultation with me about a Spanish strategy to help you out with your Spanish. So yeah, man, it's your boy Lou. We'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.